That's not a knife. That's a knife. That's me.
Really?
Whatever.
You right there, mate?
Just getting a clean shave with my machete.
See you next week, Barry.
Not a lot of crocs out here, huh?
It's just 37,000 miles of pristine beach, mate. Did you know that Australia makes some of the finest wines in the entire world?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Wait, hold up. This isn't a movie.
No.
It's a tourism ad for Australia.
Yes. But listen, you're the best Crocodile Dundee since Crocodile Dundee.
Really?
Yes, really. And we had the best trip ever, didn't we?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Hey, you know, there are some great flight deals to Australia right now.
Dude, I get it. It's not a movie, it's a commercial.
In this video, I will explain to you why the Crocodile Dundee inspired advertisement launched at the 2018 Super Bowl by Tourism Australia is a unique marketing highlight. I will also describe to you how the advertisement management process was utilised in the marketing campaign to ensure it succeeded. The reasoning used to create the campaign is also explored through the marketing concepts of target market segmentation and innovation. What is an innovation? An innovation is a process in which new ideas or processes are developed which address the needs and objectives of an organisation much more effectively and efficiently than before. An example of innovation action is when an organisation develops content which is unique and captivates an audience to greatly exceed marketing goals. Continuous innovations are where small changes are made to a product offering to maintain its competitiveness but does not require a consumer to change their behaviour. Dynamically continuous innovations involves a new product offering which requires a change in an aspect of behaviour which a consumer finds unimportant. And finally, disruptive innovations are lucrative innovations which, due to their distinctive capabilities and features, supplant other products or services that were demanded in the past. The Crocodile Dundee campaign is a continuous innovation because it greatly improves the product offering of Australia as a destination, but did not require a large change in consumer behaviour. Instead, made them look at the country as a more attractive place to go for a holiday. The campaign uses a humorous movie preview advert combination with well-known actors from the classic movie Crocodile Dundee to highlight many of the beautiful, natural and exquisite places that Australia has to offer. These include destinations that viewers would have seen in Crocodile Dundee, such as the fishing spots, national parks, remote beaches, and other novel locations they would not have seen, such as world-class wineries and restaurants. The campaign also created another level of distinction by targeting sports enthusiasts at the Super Bowl, in which Tourism Australia has never done before. It's also distinct from what competing tourist destinations have conducted in the past, for example, New Zealand. Therefore, due to these two traits, the marketing campaign is innovative. Now that we have evaluated why the campaign is innovative, we can determine the impact this has had on the advertisement management process. Advertising management. Advertising is an important part of the marketing strategy which is used by all organisations around the world. It is the core marketing activity utilised by organisations to create campaigns which improve brand awareness and sales of their products. When the advertising campaign is finally executed, the results of the campaign will determine if it was successful and by how much. The implementation of the Crocodile Dundee campaign is a great example of advertising management in action. Communication task in motion and involves targeting a specific target market and determining when to execute the plan. Place marketers such as Tourism Australia have a few key responsibilities such as to represent organisations and stakeholders who provide tourism services and to do so in an equitable manner to ensure each region is represented equally on the world stage while providing content that increases the awareness and attractiveness of Australia to global audiences. The organisation also needs to simplify the steps travellers need to take to plan a holiday in Australia. This is because travel planning is an involved process which requires a considerable amount of consumer risk. Therefore, Tourism Australia needs to simplify this decision-making process by ensuring that travel planning is as easy to do as possible and that the country is the most attractive to consumers as a tourist destination, compared to other countries in the Asia Pacific, Europe, and South American regions. With these basic objectives, Tourism Australia is required to market itself to audiences and to do so in a manner that provides the maximum amount of positive exposure based on its budget. With a large budget of $34 million, Tourism Australia were able to use an objective and task approach where They use the resources at their disposal to achieve said objectives. The broad objective of the Dundee campaign was to increase the US tourism spending from $3.7 billion to $6 billion by 2020, according to Tourism Australia. The next stage of the process, the message and media decisions, involves determining which audience the marketer should target and how this should be achieved. To understand what activities led to the choice of medium and target segment for the advertisement, we need to know about target market segmentation. Target market segmentation is a process an organization uses to target a distinct audience group with the right content that is relevant to them and their interests. The process involves the segmentation of the heterogeneous audience group by demographics, geography, behavioral, and psychographic characteristics. Then the chosen consumer segments are targeted and evaluated to ensure they are distinct from one another, and then the type of strategy the marketing team should use, for example, differentiated marketing, is chosen to connect effectively with their audience. The final stage of this process involves repositioning the target audience in favor of your product by creating unique and applicable content. A Crocodile Dundee advertisement segments the target audience by appealing to men who are over the age of 21 up to people in the senior demographic, due to its focus on male actors. The target market includes individuals who are in different stages of life. This includes men who are either single or in a relationship without kids, and men who are married and have older children. The target segment targeted is also expected to have a moderate amount of wealth, i.e. they will be in the top 50% quintile, to be able to experience some of the luxurious experiences like those shown in the video. The target audience also has behavioral characteristics that make them interested in sport, travelling around, and consuming fine food. The user status of the target market are both users, highlighting why they should travel to Australia again, and non-users, as the advertisement points out what Australia has to offer. The psychometric characteristics of the target market includes people from contemporary families who have higher life expectations and who want to experience unique adventures in their life. Identified, the marketing team at Tourism Australia would need to be able to decide when to release the campaign and when to add some supporting content. The advertisement was released as differentiated content, which was aired on US national television for one time only, and when an estimated 111 million people watched the Super Bowl event. The campaign was also released at this time to utilize the lingering interest and awareness people have for the Crocodile Dundee movies, which was a massive success in the US in 1986 when it reached number 2 in the US box office and promoted. The campaign is fresh in the consumer's mind. Brand new content was co-released on Tourism Australia's social media pages and website to ensure that potential tourists could find what they need to start planning their Australian adventure. At the same time, Tourism Australia linked their content to other aspects of the greater There's Nothing Like Australia branded content, which includes other Tourism Australia campaigns such as Aussie News Today for Youth, which is a more customised and niche targeting strategy for a more focused target market. By this stage, it was likely expected that non-company sources such as local media outlets and online users would discuss the advertisement using electronic word of mouth, further contributing to marketing activities. After a marketing campaign has been released, marketing teams use a variety of tools and metrics that are required to evaluate campaigns. Whenever users utilize social media platforms to communicate with other users, they are generating a volume of big data which can be collated and interpreted by marketers through the use of analytic programs such as Google Analytics. The software is then used to collect, order, and evaluate information in an effective way which can not only determine the driving behaviors behind consumer choices, but also how marketing communications has improved the presence of the company, and how this has increased sales compared to beforehand, such as during last winter in the US, or another reference time frame that is important. After a marketing campaign has been released, marketing teams use a variety of tools and metrics that are required to evaluate campaigns. Whenever users utilize social media platforms to communicate with other users, they are generating a volume of big data which can be collated and interpreted by marketers through the use of analytic programs such as Google Analytics. The software is then used to collect, order, and evaluate information in an effective way which can not only determine the driving behaviors behind consumer choices, but also how marketing communications has improved the presence of the company, and how this has increased sales compared to beforehand, such as during last winter in the US, or another reference time frame that is important. As described by Pratt et al., place marketers should use metrics such as gross conversion rates, the current commitment of these users to the product, which includes current or new users, and the net conversion rate, which consists of new tourist bookings. As of the 28th of February 2018, Tourism Australia developed a net 74 million in communications and sales value, and the value of each component can be established by the organisation. Without knowing what metrics Tourism Australia uses to measure return on investment and what mere aspects of value that, we'll have to estimate these figures. An article from a regional news outlet is still important to develop communication value. We'll use an average value for each mere organisation that posts an article. The media communication value in this case is 12 million Australian dollars. Social media users can also develop communication between the tourism organisation and other users by using hashtags such as "There's Nothing Like Australia" and "Why Australia" when discussing an advertisement. Online users can also like the content and share the content with their online friends. By doing this, individuals are participating in electronic word of mouth and using their social influence to tell other individuals whether the product is good or not, which has a distinctive and measurable value to the organisation for now and into the future. In this case, the total marketing value from online users is 20 million Australian dollars, and the total communication value is 32 million Australian dollars. Profit impact conversion rate. The total sales value is $44 million. If a new visitor spends $4,750 on a trip in Australia, then the new visitors influenced by the campaign is 9,260. As 111 million people will watch a campaign as 9,260 were converted, the conversion rate is 0.08%. According to this, 8.3 tourists booked a holiday in Australia per 100,000 people that watched the Super Bowl ad. The return on investment of the campaign is also 200%. This shows that Tourism Australia exceeded their marketing expectations within a small time frame because the advertisement was relevant and humorous to US viewers. Although these calculations would not be used solely by Tourism Australia, they still give us a basic understanding of what the company achieved with the campaign. Therefore, Australia as a destination has gained top-of-mind focus for consumers over competing countries such as New Zealand, and hence has completed its objectives. Tourism Australia has also supported its stakeholders, the tourism industry, and supporting industries such as aviation, which is required for tourists to get to their destination. In conclusion, the Crocodile Dundee campaign is a model example of how innovative marketing campaigns should be created from start to finish and what marketers need to consider throughout all steps of the advertising process. Thank you for listening to my video.